Hey guys, how are you? So I'm going to do one of my driving car vlogs today. What I want to talk about is the first time I got a web development freelance gig. It was actually a web design freelance gig. So I figured I'd talk about that because I think people might find that kind of interesting. Anyhow, so I'm also going to be driving up to the top of the mountain today. It's been blocked off since the summer because of our new mayor blocked off that road. So anyway, I'm going to drive to the top. I just want to see what's going on up there. It should be pretty quiet. And for me, it's just a nice way to get out of the city and kind of relax while still being in the city. So we're going to have to go back to 1996. At this point in time in my career, I had just gotten into a legal battle with my business partner at the time in a non-tech related business, water purification products, import-export. So because of the legal battles, I found myself in a situation where I needed to make some money quick. So what did I do? So I decided to leverage my coding skills and go out there and freelance. Now at the time, this is 1996, CSS was only a specification. So when you were doing web design, the skill set was really a lot of HTML and good Photoshop skills, good image editing skills. Because at that point in time, being able to manipulate images, reduce them in size so that they could load pretty quickly because people didn't have high-speed internet then. That was a big part of the skill set. Anyhow, I digress. So what do I do? What did I do to get my first gig? Well, first thing you got to do is you got to put up a website. You got to put up a site, something that you could show to prospective clients that you do have indeed the ability to build good-looking websites. So you got to put up a website, and then the next step, if you're first starting out, is you got to get yourself some freebie clients, 2 to 3 small projects that will allow you to develop your skills working with clients. Because building a website on your own and for yourself, or doing a tutorial online, is not the same as working with an actual client, having to communicate with them, extract information from them, and then to be able to deliver on time and meet your deadlines. That's a whole different thing. A big part about being a successful freelancer is being able to manage time and to manage your clients' expectations. So I talk about all this in the course. Anyhow, so I go out there, I put up my site, and at the time, you gotta remember it's 1996, the Google wasn't around, there's no social media. So how did I get my first client? Well, in those days, instead of going to Craigslist, which I don't even know if it existed then, we went to the newspapers. Now the newspapers had something called classified ads. They were just like little ads that you would go check out. And in those classified ads, I would, I gotta get by these bikers. So in the classified ads, I saw a small company had a job listed, they wanted to get some web design work done. So I contacted them, and I didn't have an office. Don't need an office. Didn't need an office back then. You especially don't need it today. So I had no office. Met him at a coffee shop, and he was a little worried, right? Because I was kind of new. He looked at my site, and he said, okay, this guy can build, but I didn't have other client sites. And that's a key thing, this is new stop sign here. This is totally new, holy crap. So I didn't have client sites to show, so he's a little reluctant, so I cut my price down to get the gig. That first gig, you either do it for free or you do it for cheap because you want to get that first gig. You got to think of the first gig as an extension of the training process, and it's marketing investment, marketing for yourself. So yeah, so I got that first gig, built the site, make sure you're on time, make sure you have open communications, and then look at this. Wow, this is so new. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent. I'm up on the top of the mountain now, and everything is blocked off, and wow, I don't know. Can't get by. This is crazy. Sorry, tangent. So yeah, so I got the gig, did the gig, everybody's happy, did the job. Now here's the thing, when you do that first job, chances are, even if you do it for free, when they come back to you, which is probably going to happen within 3 to 6 months, they come back to you after the first contract is done, they're going to want to do more work. They're going to want to work with you again, of course. And then you can charge, or then you can start raising your rates a little bit, because there's a bit of a trust being built into the relationship at that point. So that's an important thing. So after you get that first gig, you start getting subsequent gigs, update gigs with the same client. Then at the same time, you're going to get, I'm just parking here, you're going to get referrals. That's a big part of the freelance game, is you get tons of referrals over time if you do good work and you establish good relationships. Because one of the things you're going to discover while you freelance is that small business owners tend to know other small business owners. So if you do a good job for them, they're going to tell friends, friends are going to tell other friends, and next thing you know, you're going to have lots and lots of clients. That's happened to me. So 96, I started freelancing. Within a short period of time, I had people working for me because I couldn't keep up with the jobs. And in fact, back in those days, I would refuse jobs if they weren't the type of work that I wanted to do. I just had too much work. So I was able to refuse. Another thing that allowed me to really increase the amount of money I was able to make as a freelancer was to incorporate really good workflows. Now, a workflow is literally what it sounds like. It's a flow of work. It's basically a bunch of steps, a bunch of procedures that you standardize in the way that you develop a website or a web app or any app, write any code for somebody. You want to start developing workflows and structuring the way you handle your contracts based around these workflows, because the workflows will save you a heck of a lot of time. So what's an example of a workflow? In a nutshell, because I go into better detail in the proper course, but in a nutshell, a good workflow would be, for instance, leveraging the right type of web framework. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you decide you want to do server-side programming web apps with Python. So one of the things you would implement is a process of interviewing the client, so you get requirements, how you deliver the initial proposal to the clients. Again, I provide those templates, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you also implement certain frameworks on your own in terms of your own coding. So that means with Python, you probably use something like Django. Maybe you would use Flask. These are two web frameworks. You don't know what these are. Do some Python. You'll learn about this. Or maybe you're doing PHP, and you're going to use PHP, and you're going to use Laravel. That's the framework I would recommend today. And that's just one thing that you would do. Another thing you would do is in terms of how you would have templated emails. So when certain drafts would come out, you don't have to write out the email to all the clients. It doesn't sound like much, but let me tell you, when you have templated emails, you go grab the template, boom, bang, and it's done. Instead of spending 5-10 minutes writing an email over and over again, you just do it in 10 seconds or 20 seconds. It starts to add up, right? In terms of, so that's just a couple of examples. Won't get into all kinds of details here, but workflows, and you're going to develop your own particular workflows, but depending on the type of work that you might want to do, those are very important. You have to develop those. I provide examples of workflows in the course, and once you get a good workflow in place, then you're going to see your ability to be productive is going to increase quite a bit. What does that mean? That means you're going to be able to earn a lot more money for your time.